Dime, ¿qué pedo?
Se escucha bien en el juego. Cambio la...
A ver, ahora. ¿Se
¿Se
escucha?
te escucha bien a ti?
Sí, se escucha, es más. Vale, sirve.
¿Me escucho bien yo?
Va. A ver cómo termina esto.
Vigila un ratito, Mari, en lo que yo refresco, que se me ha
Sí,
quedado
ya,
el
ya.
pendejo.
¿Cómo escuchas tú, Mari?
Bien.
Listo. Se escucha y se ve bien.
Un segundo, ¿dónde está el controlador de esta madre acá? Haz con círculo. Puto Kojima, tienes que ser japonés.
Un Kojima loco, tendría que haber dicho.
Estoy jugando la serie Metal Gear por primera vez. Me gusta Metal Gear Solid 1 o 2. ¡Ah, me pica el pie! A ver.
After the end of
Final
World
de la
War
Segunda
II,
Guerra
the
Mundial.
world was
El
split
mundo
into
estaba
two,
dividido en dos.
East and West.
Este y Occidente.
This marked the beginning of the
Este
era
momento
called the
marca el
Cold
inicio
War.
de lo que se llama la Guerra Fría. Ok. Es después de la Segunda Guerra. Ok, Mari. Kojimas.
Hombre, estoy bolseta. Hola, misa. ¿Qué cojones con el audio?
Sí, no sé.
¿Cómo están? Dice misa. Muy bien.
A la misa. Tiro de todo.
¿Verdad?
Approaching Soviet airspace.
No tengo idea.
20 minutes to drop off. Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check.
No tienes ninguna otra cosa abierta, ¿verdad?
All right. You ready to go?
Debe ser el phone directamente.
Still showing a high pressure mass. Cap okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
A ver, el emulador, ¿verdad? Sí.
Esas cosas parece que se van a despegar del avión.
No, el 3D que usan en estos modelos. Impecable.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
¿Tenía óptimo esta madre? No sé qué pedo.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Tal vez otra configuración para jugar esto, no sé.
Approaching release
No
point.
te fijaste.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey! Are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Esa fue mi infancia porque me recuerdos.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Las animaciones están bien porque el audio está como que ralentizado.
Es lo que no entiendo.
30 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the windshield.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout, Arnold.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
Déjalo.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Solo allá
Spread
afuera,
your
te veo, no sé
wings
por qué.
And fly.
Sí, sí.
God be with you.
Sí, estoy tomando mate.
Yo creo que es la zona, ¿eh?
Puede ser.
Porque se ponía a hacer piruetas.
Ya sé. Déjalo, quería ser acrobata.
Otra vez por ese puto nombre enfrente del puto coño.
Es
Váyame a la
Kojima.
puta madre.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission.
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is
Sí,
Nikolai
creo que era
Stepanovich
la-
Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own
No
creations.
te menti ojos.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the
Ya lo
fence.
encontré.
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. He used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my side. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Hola.
¿Qué pasó?
Oli.
Nada, como no hablaba, en plan, ok.
Estoy esperando a que pase la señora.
También para
Bienvenida a
Listen up,
cinemáticas.
Jack. Your
Ya
mission
lo
is
sé.
to
El
infiltrate
juego.
Selino-Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of
¿Había
Sokolov, and
para
bring him
callas?
back to the west.
No,
What?
todavía no.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue, Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The full surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proof.
Do you think Sokolov is up?
Creo que son los globos que se usan en el Phantom Pain.
The shock will be less
inflas el
than
globo y salen
during a
volando más.
parachute jump, and the
Ya, ya, ya.
arm can
Ah, esos
handle
que
up
parecen
to
como que si
500
fueran
pounds.
globos de estos que
So
captan
you're
los,
planning on going
los
over
cambios
the
ambientales.
border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks. Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours. Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Pues,
Misa, ¿cuánta paciencia has de tener para jugar así?
La paciencia hace al hombre y a la virtud, Misa.
¿Qué?
Quería hacer una poesía, me salió del orto, no preguntes.
Como siempre.
si me estoy esperando para no tener que volver a poner la puta cinemática entera.
Ya,
Sí, sí.
obviamente.
Después voy a cortar y voy a ver qué onda.
Obvio. Qué raro que pase esto, pero bueno.
Uy,
Creo que luego,
sí. Sí, valió madre.
Adiós, Globin.
Se está cagando en sus muertos.
Sí.
El Snake, Mori.
El Snake.
Y ahí todos gritan.
Ay. Tendré que hacer palomita después de mi cumple. Qué paja. Hola, Ezequiel.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy
ver.
territory. Somebody might be listening in.
Iba a intentar hacer una
From
poesía
here on out,
con
we'll be
lo de
using
la Ruri,
code
pero
names
mejor
to
no.
refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
Por algo lo
What
llamamos
about
Snake.
you, Major?
Ajá.
What should I call you?
Me pregunto
Let's
si
see.
de verdad
I'll
funciona para
be-
quitarte los granos, comerte esa
I'll be
serpiente.
Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be
Ay, no
a
pollo.
sneaking mission.
Mm.
You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
Se le queda atascado, Mori.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action
Ay, la
button.
paja de puta, tengo que volver por el botiquín.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship.
Este es el que tiene
My
de que te
frequency
dice...
is
Tienes que poner la frecuencia que está atrás de la caja del juego.
1.80.5. I'll give
Yes.
you a call if I need to talk to you.
Me alegro que estés bien.
You
Yo
need to
aquí
talk to me.
sigo
Use
destruido.
the
No,
send function.
no me
Okay, Snake.
compuestan aún
Go get your
tengo
backpack.
debilitado las piernas. ¿Qué verga, Ezequiel?
A ver,
Suena
va.
muy mal de que tengas debilitadas las piernas cuando lo estás leyendo sin contexto alguno la Ruri, ¿eh?
Mira, arriba a la derecha creo que eso es el camuflaje, mira. ¿Ves? A ver, en gameplay va bien,
Le-
pero en las escenas no sé por qué va del culo.
No
Yo
sé,
digo
no
que es
tengo
la
idea.
ISO, o sea, la room.
Ni idea, güey. Me da...
Porque las
le da un abrazo a la
animaciones
Rory.
en las cinemáticas iban bien. Pero el audio iba de la mierda.
Es que es como, qué verga, güey. Se ve bien, se escucha el culo. Es como, vamos, vamos. Me da muy mal el stream, así que si no respondo algo que me hayan preguntado, eso es pinche internet. Tranquilo, Misa.
Espérate. ¿Dónde está la puta mochila?
Dale el pause. Ah, no, tú estás buscando la que se quedó en el árbol.
Exacto, la
Más
mochila se
atrás
engancha
se
al
quedó.
árbol. Cuando te caíste. ¿Te duele los huesos, Ezequiel, o qué te pasa? Y no digas el chiste que te cortaste las piernas, cabrón.
No, es que se estuvo arrodillado mandándose las caps.
No sé si leíste lo que le puse de que se vio a Caps entrando en su habitación.
Exacto, por eso le duelen las piernas.
Ja, 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 ja.
Ah, Sergio, Gio, María, Sergio, Gio.
Sí, sí.
¿Qué?
Ah, es triángulo.
Parece que da fiebre.
I see
Le
you've
picó
retrieved
dengue, le
your
picó
backpack,
chikungunya, le picó la, no sé, la variante de la chinga a su madre, ya
Snake.
no
To
sé.
equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as
Están
smoothly.
debilitadas, la siento como
Keep an
si
eye on your
hubiera corrido una
stamina so you
maratón.
don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You
Qué
can use either
qué buena
your
forma de combinar los
tranquilizer
nombres.
gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor.
Le agarró la dengue
However,
kungunya.
the suppressor will
La
deteriorate every
combinación
time
de
you
los dos.
fire. Once its durability reaches zero, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I
Lo
have
vieron
to
con un
find
cuchillo
my
y una
own
pistola
weapons
tranquilizante
and
que tiene
equipment.
un
Whose
silenciador que
crazy
se va a
idea
deteriorar.
was this anyway?
Sí,
Oh,
a quien se le
vaya.
ocurrió semejante
Solo
idea, dice.
covert actions are
Sí,
standard Fox operating
buena
procedure.
observación, Einstein.
Can't leave any traces of your presence.
Dice, no puedes dejar ninguna
No
huella de tu
weapons,
presencia.
equipment,
Armas, ni
footprints,
equipo, ni
sweat,
huellas,
or
olor,
bodily waste.
excrementos.
The same
Ni
goes
tampoco
for
balas o
bullets and
cargadores.
cartridges too.
ajá.
Your presence in enemy
Una presencia en
territory
el
is already a
territorio enemigo ya es
violation
una
of
violación de las
international
convenciones
conventions of
internacionales de guerra.
warfare. There aren't supposed to be any
Vaya, que-
Lo que se inventa
Americans
Kojima
in
para no
Russia.
darte nada,
It could
Sí.
spark an
Sí,
international
solo
incident.
por vago, vago.
Can't let anyone
Kojima,
see.
hijo de puta.
Can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense
en
of the
todos los
word.
sentidos de la palabra.
There'll be no
Si te
rescue of
capturan, no
your
podremos
capture.
rescatarte.
The military and
El
U.S.
ejército y el
government
gobierno
will
americano
deny
negarán
any
implicación
involvement
alguna
in
en
the
esta
affair.
operación.
Then I'll
Vaya.
just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that
Te hemos dado una
purpose.
pastilla de muerte falsa.
SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one
Y
be
yo viendo,
issued a
esto no es
potassium
falso.
cyanide capsule.
Una cápsula de cianuro de
Tape
potasio.
it to your body so you can take
En el
it when
cuerpo
you
así
need.
podrás tomártela cuando lo
How
necesites.
generous of you.
Qué generoso. Como la que
Use
tiene el
it
español en la
Gracias.
abuela.
as a prisoner by the enemy.
Sí,
Sí.
sí.
Send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
Toma la píldora
You mean
resucitada.
that thing they put in my tooth before the
Literal.
mission?
¿Cuántas
Esa es
veces
la
te
cosa
dije que le
pusieron de una
cambies
misión.
But be careful.
el agua
If you
a la
remain in a state
lechuza?
of false death for
Permaneces
too
durante
long,
mucho tiempo en el estado de falsa
nothing will be
muerte.
able to bring you
No habrá
back.
forma de volver a la vida.
Remember
No lo olvides.
I'll keep it in mind. You
Kojima,
said this was a solo mission,
Te doy
right?
una pastilla de cianuro y
Right.
una para revivirte, pero
I guess
si
that
mantienes
means I
mucho la muerte
can't
falsa te
count
mueres.
on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission
me voy a
rests
seguir
entirely in
acordando
your
de la
hands.
escena en que unos militares
Real
usaron lo de
one-man
Snake,
army.
disfrazarse de cajas y
Relax,
pasar enfrente de
there's a
una
support
cámara,
team
boludo.
ready to
Me voy a
back you
seguir
up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This
Ah, y
time,
otro lo hizo haciendo
survival
volteretas.
is of utmost importance.
Ah,
The first
hijo de
member of the
puta.
support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh?
Yendo.
It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular
Se llaman Jack
Captain
porque es
Nemo.
más corto.
A name means nothing
Sí.
on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name.
La
What's
caja es
your
infalible. Si es que me dio gracia que los dos putos,
Yendo.
Very funny.
dos
I
putos
wasn't
utilizaron la caja,
But I'll
boludo. Y
tell you
pasaron
my
las
name
pruebas.
only if you
cabrones.
manage to make it back alive.
Muy gracioso.
My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency,
140-96.
140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Apúntalo, Mari, 140-96.
Speaking of snakes,
Puta, donde tengo la vez.
you remember the boss, don't you?
No tengo una virome a mano
The
la
legendary
40,
soldier and your
96.
mentor.
¿Dónde está mi virome?
Actually, it was the boss that
Soy yo
got
la
the
que te está
DCI's
mandando cosas,
authorization
no.
in the first place.
Bueno, no te lo
She's going to be
pongo.
serving as Fox's mission
140,
advisor.
Boss.
A ver,
She also helped me plan
pásame
this
los
mission.
mail, si lo anoto en el
She
papel.
Ya se
and
lo
I
pasé en
were
el
in
chat del-
SAS together.
Ya.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Ella es de Boss,
Boss?
Ella entrenó a
That's
Snake Man.
right. It's me.
Ok. Parece rusa.
Creo que sí.
Meh.
Talk to
Creo
me.
que sí.
Puede.
Let me
Puede,
hear
puede,
your
puede.
voice.
It's been 5 years.
Es de madre Rusia.
72 days and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell
Okay.
just by the sound of my voice.
Gracias,
Se le
Misa.
fue el sonido de mi voz.
Of course I can. I know all
O sea, ¿sabe que ha
about
perdido peso solo por escucharlo hablar?
Really?
Se
Well,
puede.
I don't know anything about you.
you. What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission.
Estaba en una operación secreta.
You didn't need me
Que no me
anymore.
necesitabas.
But there were still
Todavía
so
había
many
tantas cosas que me
things I
pasaban.
wanted you to teach me.
No. I
Ah,
taught you everything you
Para que te
needed to
enseñé
know
todo lo
about
necesario
fighting
sobre técnicas de
techniques.
combate.
I taught you
Te
all I
enseñé todo lo que
could.
pude.
The rest you needed to learn on your own.
El resto lo tienes que aprender tú solo.
Techniques, sure.
Técnicas,
But
claro.
what about how to think like a
Y
soldier?
pensar como un soldado.
How to think like a
Pensar como
soldier?
un soldado.
I
Yo no te
can't
puedo enseñar
teach you
eso.
that. A soldier
soldado
needs
tiene
to
que
be
ser fuerte
strong
en
in
espíritu, cuerpo
spirit,
y
body,
técnica.
and technique.
Lo único que se puede
And the
enseñar
only
es
thing
la
you can
técnica.
learn from someone else is
¿Cierto o
technique.
falso, Mal?
In fact,
Ah,
Ni siquiera importa. Lo
what's
más
most
importante es el
important
espíritu.
is spirit.
espíritu. Sí.
Spirit and body
Ya
are
Si no
los
tienes
soldados
espíritu,
saben
espíritu del
coin.
externo, vale.
They're the same thing. I
No
can't
te puedo
teach you
enseñar
how
cómo
to
pensar.
think.
Lo tienes que escoger tú
You'll
mismo.
just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me,
Básicamente que
Jack.
con el tiempo vas a
Just
aprender a
because
ser un soldado.
soldiers are on the
Punto.
same side right
Los-
now
siempre están en el mismo.
doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal
Los
feelings
sentimientos
about your
personales entre camaradas
comrades
es
is
el
one of
peor
the
pecado que
worst
puedes
sins
cometer.
you can commit. Politics determine
La
who you
política quien
face on the
determina quién te enfrentas en
battlefield.
el campo de batalla.
And
Y la
politics are a
política
living
es un ente
thing.
vivo.
They
con
change
los
along
tiempos.
with the times. Yesterday's good
El
might
bien
be
de hoy puede
tomorrow's
ser el mal de
evil.
mañana.
Is that why you abandoned
Y por eso
me?
me abandonaste.
No, it had nothing to do
No
with
tuvo
you.
nada que ver contigo.
I already
Ya te lo he
told
dicho,
you,
Jack.
Jack. I was
Estaba
on a
trabajando en una
top
operación
secret
secreta.
mission. A soldier has
soldado
to
tiene que
follow
cumplir órdenes
whatever
y no
orders
de
he's
cuestionarlos.
given. It's not his place to question why, but you're looking
tú
for a
buscas una razón
reason
para
to
luchar.
fight. You are a natural born
Eres un
fighter,
luchador nato,
but
pero no
you're
un
not
soldado.
quite a soldier. A soldier
soldado
is
es
a
una herramienta
political
política, nada
tool,
más.
nothing more. That's doubly
Todavía
true
más
if
si
he's a
quiere
career
ascender.
soldier.
No es
Right
nadie
and
para
wrong
cuestionar
have
el bien
no
y el mal.
place in his mission. He has no enemies,
Lo que
Amigos,
normalmente
ni
te
amigos,
dicen.
Solo una misión.
only the mission.
Un deber.
You follow the orders
Cumplir
you're
órdenes.
given.
Eso es ser un
That's
soldado.
what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to
Yo hago lo
get
que
the
sea
job
necesario para hacer bien
done.
mi trabajo.
I don't
No me
think
preocupo
about
por la política.
politics.
That's not the same
Pero no es
thing.
lo mismo.
Sooner
Tarde o
or
temprano
later,
te va a
your
remordar la
conscience
conciencia.
is going to bother you. In the end,
Al final
you
tienes que
have to
decidir si
choose
quieres
whether you're
vivir
going to
como un
live
soldado
as a
o como
soldier
un hombre o
or
como una
just
pistola.
another man with a gun.
Como un hombre
There's
con
a
una pistola.
saying in the Orient,
Hay un dicho oriental
loyalty
que
to
dice,
the
lealtad
end.
hasta el final.
Do
¿Sabes
you
qué
know
quiere
what
decir?
it means?
Being
Que hay que
patriotic.
ser patriota.
It means devoting
Quiere decir que tienes
yourself
que
to
servir a
your
tu país.
country.
I follow the
Yo cumplo
president
órdenes del
and the top
presidente y de los
brass.
dirigentes
I'm
del
ready to
país.
die for them
Moriría
if
por ellos si fuera
necessary.
necesario.
The president
Y el
and the
presidente
top
y sus
brass won't be
dirigentes
there
estarán ahí
forever.
siempre.
Once their
Vendrán
terms
otros y
are
ocuparán
up,
su lugar.
others will take their place.
I follow the
Cumplo
will of
órdenes
the
del líder,
leader, no matter
independientemente de
who's
quién
in
sea.
charge.
People aren't the ones who
No es la
dictate
gente
the
quien dicta las
missions.
misiones.
Then who
Y
does?
entonces, ¿quién es?
The
Los
times.
tiempos.
People's values
Los valores de
change
la
over
gente cambian con el
time,
tiempo y también
and
los
so do the
dirigentes de los
leaders of a
países.
country. So there's no
Por lo
such
tanto,
thing as
en
an
términos
enemy in
absolutos, el enemigo no
absolute
existe.
terms. The enemies we
Los enemigos
fight
contra los que
are
luchamos
only
solo son
enemigos in
enemigos en
relative
términos
terms,
relativos que
constantly
cambien con el
changing
tiempo.
with the times. As long as we
Siempre y
have
cuando sigamos
loyalty
dicha
to the
lealtad hasta
end,
el final,
there's
no
no
hay por qué
point in
creer en
believing
nada,
in
ni siquiera en
anything,
aquellos a quien queremos.
even in those we love.
And that's the way a
Así como se
soldier's
debe,
supposed to
debe pensar un
think.
soldado.
The only
La
thing
única
we
cosa
can
en la que puede
believe
creer
in with
absolutamente
absolute certainty
es la misión,
is
¿verdad?
the mission, Jack.
Sí, es la misión.
All right. But do
Bien,
me a
pero hazme un
favor.
favor.
What is
¿De
it?
qué se trata?
Call me Snake.
Llámame Snake.
Snake. Oh, right.
Tu nombre
Your
clave
code
es
name
Snake.
is Snake.
Te va muy
It
bien.
suits you well.
That's right. The legendary
La
unit that the
legendaria
boss put
que la
together
voz
during
reunió
World
durante la
War
Segunda
II
Guerra
was a
Mundial
snake.
tenía
The
nombre de
Cobra
serpiente.
unit.
Era
A
unidad
group
Cobra,
of heroes
un
that
grupo de
brought the war
héroes
to an end
puso
and
fin a la
saved
guerra
the
y que
world.
salvó el mundo.
As long as you've got
Siempre y
a
cuando
legendary
tengas un
hero
héroe
backing you
legendario
up, you'll be
respaldándote,
fine.
estarás bien.
Isn't that
¿No
right,
es así,
Snake?
Snake?
Yeah.
Sí, no
I
podría
can't think
encontrar
of
a nadie
anyone
mejor
else
para
I'd rather
ayudarme.
have with me. Oh,
Otra
and one
cosa,
more
vos.
thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to
Me
hear
alegra
your
de volver a
voice
escuchar tu
again.
voz.
same here.
Lo mismo digo,
After
después de
all,
todo, quién
who
sabe
knows
si
if
saldremos
either
vivos
of
de
us
esto.
will make it out alive. Snake, you
Snake,
were
qué
always
fuertes son
best
las
at
guerras
urban
urbanas y las
warfare and
infiltraciones en
infiltrating
edificios.
buildings. But this is the jungle.
Esta es la jungla.
Survival is going to
Aquí la
be
clave
key.
de supervivencia.
Those CQC techniques I
bien las
taught you
técnicas
are
CQC que
sure
te
to come
enseñé.
in handy.
CQC.
Combate
Close
cuerpo a
quarters
cuerpo.
combat, huh?
¿Te acuerdas lo que hizo
I've been in
Krauser
the
con
Green
Leon?
Berets for the past
Sí.
few
Estaban los
years.
boines verdes
I'm
durante
probably
los
pretty
últimos años.
rusty.
Estoy muy oxidado.
Not to
No te
worry.
preocupes, estoy aquí para
I'll
ayudarte a
be
recordar.
here to help you remember. After all,
Después de
this
todo,
is your
esta es tu
first
primera
actual
misión de
survival
supervivencia.
mission.
Te estaré
I'll
ayudando
be
por radio.
supporting you over the
Aunque
radio.
el combate que saben
Where
ellos es
are
una
you,
versión
boss?
modificada de eso.
Next to the major.
The boss is communicating with us by radio
Se
from
comunica con
aboard a
nosotros a través de la radio
Hermit-class
desde el
submarine
tipo
in the
Hermit
Arctic
en el
Ocean.
océano Ártico.
My frequency is
Mi frecuencia es 104.1.80.
141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Ok, man.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve
Mel?
Dr. Sokolov.
Moté para que no escucharan el teclado, pero
Dr.
sí,
Sokolov
estoy
is
prestando
being held in
atención.
an abandoned
notaste.
factory located to the north of your current
Sí, los
position.
números los tengo anotados.
Avoid
104.1.80.
heavy combat and don't let
104.1.80,
anyone
vale.
see you. Don't
104.
forget that this is a
180.
stealth mission.
1.80.
Ah, 4.
Snake,
180.
try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Ah. Hola.
Sí.
Eso también es lo que le enseñó Krauser a Leon.
Commencing
El cuchillo siempre, Mari.
Un cuchillo siempre primero.
Y esa regla también la tenían los samuráis, que tenían 3 katanas, una larga, una mediana y una chica. Y la que no se podían permitir perder nunca era la chica, porque eso significa muerte.
Sí.
Corta distancia. A ver, la primera que te dije, ¿cuál era?
La primera que me dijiste era 140.96.
Ah, es que círculo puto Kojima chino.
Tenías también la 140.85, que es la segunda. Uno más, ahí.
ya luego le digo ya que me ayude a configurarlo, que buscamos una configuración en línea porque se están mamando.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla King
¡Qué
of
verga!
Monsters?
No.
Pregunto por
What is
Godzilla
it?
la vieja.
It's a
What the
movie.
Ay, Dios.
fuck?
You
Es una
haven't seen
película, ¿no
it?
la has visto?
Nope.
Pues
It's about this
la historia de un
monster
monstruo
called
llamado Godzilla,
Godzilla,
en la que
who
prueba-
grows to an enormous
prueba
size in a
nuclear, crece
nuclear test
descomunal
and goes on a
y
rampage
siempre
in
está reventado aquí.
Tokyo.
Nuclear test,
La van a curar.
Then the
Entonces,
Marshall
Marshall tiene
Islands
que haber
must be
miles de
crawling
monstruos
with
gigantes.
giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster.
Tiene forma de tenerlo.
Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path.
Vas a comparar al
It was
guacho ese con
originally a
Godzilla.
Japanese movie, but they made an American version
Hicieron una versión
too.
americana, sí.
I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Tiene un mensaje
Where
anti-nuclear.
can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
En 2004 serán 50 años de
course.
Godzilla. ¿Crees que
Everybody
todavía
No
se
mames.
harán películas de Godzilla?
You
Claro.
sure know a lot about movies.
Sí, es
Estamos
como
en
si
23.
supieran.
Told you
Si
to
supieran lo que se está
How
haciendo.
are you?
Literal.
Really?
¿Y todo por qué? Porque Hollywood es un hijo de
And
puta que
I'll
no se
tell
le
you
ponen más
everything
cosas.
I know.
Exacto.
When the going gets tough,
Y nunca se le ocurrirá
movies
si
can
nunca hace
save your
nada.
life. It's
Tiene
always good
miedo
to be able to look at things from a different
fallar.
perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
Qué apenas.
Mm.
Creo que aquí lo voy a dejar porque tengo que configurar bien este desmadre.
Bueno.
La boriririri.
Como tú quieras. ¿Cuánto llevamos?
Poco. Ya te digo.
40 minutos, 50 minutos, casi una hora.
Mira, sí, lo tengo que configurar bien este desmadre. Voy a rayar el rojo. Yo soy chile en
Bueno. Chiles en ahogada.
Bueno.
Ok, vamos a ver qué pedo. A ver, ¿listos?
Sí.
Sí.